It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me is, of course, my pal, the man with the plan, the one and only. The one and only. That's right, the one and only. John Meleka. Before we ask John how he's doing, everyone, we need your help. If you listen to this podcast and you're not already subscribed, please make sure to do so. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a comment. We're also on YouTube. Type in Knicks, Jets, etc. period. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment, add to the conversation. You know, if you're a Jets fan, NFL draft just happened. We just dropped, the first round.
Cloud 10, bro. Living on cloud 10. If you're
it's amazing, bro. I have Jets fans telling me, like, why are you optimistic? I'm like, I have not seen a good draft like this in a long time. We haven't had 3 picks in the first round since 2000 with Chad Pennington. All right. Sean Ellis. Come on, man.
Anthony Beck, your boy.
Anthony Beck. Yes. That was 4. That was 4 first rounders.
That was 4.
That was 4.
It almost happened again. And we'll get to it in the Jets episode, but almost happened again.
Almost happened again. But if you haven't watched that video, make sure to go check it out. And you know what you guys also need to check out? Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, our boy Chip Murphy. These guys go down everything. Everything. Baseball, golf. I don't even know if you guys have done hockey yet, but I'm pretty sure you have.
Coming up this week, baby.
There you go. And look at that. John's got his Rangers gear on. Baseball, hockey, basketball, football. You name it, these guys got you covered. They were even doing draft odds. If you need help to place down a bet, go check these guys out, but make sure to do so responsibly.
I feel bad for Chip. He had Gardner and Jermaine Johnson plus 1,800, but
oh man, I saw that
later. It's tough.
I heard that. I heard 10. Like the first thing I listened to, I was like, Chip, I feel bad for you, bro. I feel bad. But I also felt bad for you that day because I know you were going through panic attacks. So it's like, when is he coming?
We made it, baby.
We made it. But then last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. John, my man, how you doing, bro? How you feeling today? I don't know about you, but out here in Boston, it's pretty gloomy. It's raining. Had to pull out the umbrella. And it's cold. After a nice day yesterday where it was 70 degrees, outside in like sweats and a t-shirt, just chilling, basking in the glory of the nice sun before basketball started. Now we get this miserable weather again. But how are you doing? How's it all going on down in New York? Staten Island.
I mean, it was really nice yesterday. We had some late night rain. I mean, if you were in the tri-state area, definitely New York area, you heard some crazy thunder, lightning at like 4 or 5 in the morning that woke up almost everybody that I know. But to make sure that it was just weather. But just a little bit of rain, but it's been decent out, man. I feel like we're fighting for that spring. We're officially through the fake spring, which means that NBA playoffs are coming to a head. NHL playoffs are starting now with this new COVID thing. The Yankees are unstoppable, but the clock just turned May. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm riding high right now. And like you said, with the Jets, your friends are texting you, why you're optimistic. At this point, if you're not optimistic about this Jets team, like your head is in the clouds, man. I don't know what to tell you. You just like to be miserable. You're just an unhappy guy, right? I don't know what to tell you because every single draft expert had at least an A for the Jets. Forget the fact that they all named them the best drafting team this whole season. They had an A. So what can you be upset about? I mean, the funniest criticism I've gotten so far was the Jets drafting a running back. Oh, the Jets drafted a running back, Breece Hall. Oh, the Big 12 defense stinks. What are you gonna do? Like, all right, bro. Like that's how I know we're riding the high right now. So, dude, I'm loving this NBA playoffs, even though this round doesn't suck. We'll get to that later. I'm hyped about the Rangers going to that playoff game tomorrow, game 1 at the Garden.
Let's go.
The Jets are good. I don't know what else to say. I just took Jets plus 800 to make the playoffs, man. I'm feeling good at this very moment. And as our fans like to say, especially Blood of the Panda, I got some hopium in me, man. I got hopium running all through my veins.
But how can you not? I mean, outside of the New York Knicks, I mean, we're Yankees fans. Even if you're a Mets fan and you listen to this pod, how can you not be happy that both baseball teams right now are leading both leagues? You got the Yankees who are 16-6. You got the Mets who are 16-7, both at the top of their leagues. That's doing well. You got the Rangers in the playoffs, right? Islanders are in the play. Are the Islanders still in the playoffs? Actually, I haven't checked on.
Islanders are not in the playoffs.
Okay.
Sir.
Well, if you're an Islanders fan, sorry for you.
No, well, not sorry.
At least you got the Rangers though. You got the true New York team, right? No, I'm messing with everybody.
Yeah, you're about to get some haters right now.
I know.
But that's okay. That's okay. This is the Knicks, Jets, etc. The etc. will leave for the Rangers.
For sure. And then you got the Jets and the Giants. Jets drafted really well. And I just want to say this because I know we get some overlap between the Knicks and the Jets. The reason I'm excited and optimistic is because we drafted well. Not saying that every player is going to be this phenom, but we got top-rated players in this draft and maneuvered well to get top-rated players. That's why I'm excited. I think that's why most
honestly, I think that's a hot take. I think that's a hot take that our players aren't going to all be great because we got the number 1 receiver, the number 1 corner, the number 3 defensive end. I mean, what number 1 running back. But we'll get to that on the Jets episode. But dude, there's hopium literally flowing through my veins right now.
Even team
Aaron Judge. Oh, Aaron Judge not vaxxed. Oh, Aaron Judge this, that, bro. They're all chilling in Toronto today. Like, I am living on cloud 9. The whole Yankees team is there. Like, I'm really hyped right now, man.
And then we get to the Knicks where there's not a lot of hopium right now. Not a lot of hopium for that team. But, maybe
rumors.
Things will change. Maybe
just
things
rumors and anger, bro.
It's all anger. Maybe it will change this offseason, but nothing to fuel this anger unless you listen to a certain podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Was it All in the Smoke podcast? And they had Shaheen Holloway. All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. And they had Shaheen Holloway, former head coach of St. Peter's, who had that Cinderella run, right? He's now the head coach of Seton Hall, where he used to play. And let's just start here because let's talk about fueling the fire for people who want Tibbs out of here. And I just want to make it clear before I get into this, because I think some people think that I'm a Tibbs lover. I'm not a Tibbs lover. I'm a fan of continuity, and I could just look past I understand his shortcomings, but I also understand what this team needs, and the shortcomings aren't so bad enough that require him to get axed after just having a magical run the season before. That's what I'm saying. If it was 2 bad seasons in a row, different story, but we're not there. Anyway, we have Shaheen Holloway on All the Smoke, and he talks about his time, trying to get into the league. And he starts off by saying, he had the opportunity to go play in the summer league for the Washington Wizards and the New York Knicks. He decided to go to the New York Knicks because hometown kid from Queens wants to go play for his hometown team. Makes sense. And he starts saying you look up and down the point guard rotation because he is on the shorter side. He's under 6 feet. You had Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, and Rick Brunson.
Yeah.
And he's saying that he was cooking Rick Brunson because he saw Rick Brunson and said, you know what? I could take his job. And he was cooking Rick Brunson, by the way, on a bum ankle. That's before how he started the story, on a bum ankle. And that Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason were watching him cook in Summer League, cook Rick Brunson. And you have them be like, they see how good he is. Apparently you had Charles Oakley said he's going to be the mentor essentially for veterans camp, which is just regular training camp when that comes for Shaheen Holloway. I just have one issue with that. Just one issue. Shaheen Holloway went for the New York Knicks Summer League in the year 2000. 2000, my man. Anthony Mason wasn't on that team. He was on the Miami Heat. Charles Oakley Pretty sure he was in Toronto at that time too. Not on the team. And if you're going to tell me they're at Summer League, why are two veterans who've already made their way in the NBA, who've been on rosters? We're talking about Anthony Mason, who won Sixth Man of the Year, already solidified his role. The Heat wanted him, obviously. You're telling me now he's going to be at a New York Knicks Summer League practice?
Well, it depends, bro. Was it in Vegas? If it was in Vegas, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, probably there.
But my thing is, like, I don't know if it was in Vegas yet. It may have been the Orlando,
Florida.
One.
Yeah,
I think it may have been Orlando because it was before they were still all separated. So if you're East Coast, you're going down to Orlando. I think that's where it was for the time being. But that story didn't make any sense to me. Like, what? That part. And I love how everyone who's a Tibbs hater, because they heard the story, is that the crux of it is that Holloway was cooking Brunson so badly, right? Brunson scored on him, then he scored on Brunson. Brunson brings up the ball, he steals and then goes scores on him, and this is what he's saying. And then Tibbs said, "Hey, Brunson's a veteran. You can't be doing that. Go sit on the wall. You just don't play anymore." My man, what? Brunson didn't even have a contract, bro. Actually, if that was even if Brunson was playing for the Summer League Knicks that time, he had gotten waived. No, he didn't get waived. He didn't get waived. He was free agent. He was a free agent July 1st. So if he's in Summer League and the Knicks wanted him, like, I don't think they're gonna be like, "Yo, Holloway's cooking you." No. We're gonna save a spot for Brunson, because, by the way, Brunson didn't even make the team. He signed with the Miami Heat, then got waived by the Miami Heat before the season started, and then signed with the Boston Celtics starting of the season. He came back to the Knicks that season, but the story is just not adding up. I just want to point that out. I don't really care how people feel, because I know they're saying, like, "Oh, look at Tibbs. He's putting a young guy on the wall, didn't let him play, and he was cooking because he just wants to trust a veteran." Da 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 da. I don't know how true that is, but I'm just saying there's some holes in the story.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, listen, Holloway is a legend around these streets, man. He's a legend around New Jersey basketball, and that might sound like a joke, New Jersey basketball, but dude, like, some of the best players in the NBA, even currently, right? Off the top of my head, like Kyrie, Karl Anthony Towns, just a couple of New Jersey guys, but he's a legend in the streets, right? Especially with Seton Hall. He did really well when he played with them, and it was always a foregone conclusion that he was going to join Seton Hall from St. Peter's even before the tournament. The tournament just really solidified it. And just some more context, Holloway just got to Seton Hall, and if you know anything about NCAA college basketball at the moment, if you've been following even remotely, you know what's going on with this transfer portal right now. And especially when it comes to NIL deals. I mean, there's a reason that Holloway is on a pretty prestigious podcast, regardless of how you feel about the content on it. He's on a pretty prestigious pod because he wants to recruit. He's recruiting right now. And what better way to recruit than saying, "Yo, I scraped the best players, and the only reason I didn't do it is because ... the same narrative that everybody else has when it comes to Tom Thibodeau." And I'm going to tell you my gut reaction, right? Because I like to have a reaction, my own reaction for things before I see what everyone else is saying. And that usually jumps to John's hot takes. John, you're the contrarian. John this, John that. But I'm telling you, for this case, the first thing I thought was, it is so cool that Tibbs was there in the year 2000 and he's still there now. Like, for me, that's the first thing I thought. No joke. Because the first thing you want to say is, "Oh, how dumb is Tibbs? Look, he messed up 25 years ago and now he's messing up again, and he doesn't know how to evaluate talent." For me, it says, yo, Tibbs was in the summer league, dude, in the year 2000, watching, third and fourth string point guards go at it so that they can, make the roster. Like, and then we're sitting here screaming at him, "How can you not play IQ for, 19 and a half minutes? And how can you start Alec Burks? What do you know about basketball? You know nothing." Was he old 25 years ago too? Or was he like the young star? It's so inconsistent on what we're even mad about. But the fact that Tibbs was in it, I mean, Holloway's a smart dude. He knows the narrative, and he knows that Charles Oakley hates the Knicks, right? And RIP to Anthony Mason. I mean, it's a perfect story. Like who cares
yeah.
if a couple Knicks fans on Twitter, if a couple podcasts, are here to fact check.
Look,
as I started this podcast, man, I was freaking out about Aaron Judge. I know a little off top. I was freaking out about Aaron Judge this whole offseason because I was laughing at people. He was smirking during the first press conference. They're like, "Are you vaccinated?" He's literally laughing. He can't stop holding his laugh. They just traded Sanchez and Gio, who are known to not be vaxxed, and he goes, "Oh, it's a shot in the arm that they're gone." And he's making all these jokes. Everyone's like, "Oh, Business Insiders like, oh, he's unvaxxed. New York Post, he's unvaxxed." All these people saying he's unvaxxed out of nowhere. And shout out to Business Insider for coming back and apologizing for that. But dude, it's the same. It's just a narrative. It's just a narrative that Tibbs stinks, right? He can't evaluate anybody, especially point guards. What a fun way to tie this around. And then it's Rick Brunson, a good old Jalen Brunson's pops. Like it was literally the most perfect story of all.
The story has everything you need. Yeah. You want to talk about like everything? Like Knicks fans are on the fence between Emmanuel Quickley, Jalen Brunson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Thibodeau, subject of like the last couple of months for like because of his poor rotations, his inability to play.
It's Randle and then Tibbs. That's everything else.
Yeah,
that's the whole
inability
problem
to play people. And once again, this is not defending saying Tibbs like, but we're just. This is like the facts, right? We're talking about like Rick Brunson's son, Jalen Brunson, free agent. We're talking about who's going to be a point guard. People in the Quickley camp, people in the Brunson camp. Tom Thibodeau, right? You have Tom Thibodeau, who's been the ire of a lot of Knicks fans because of his inability to really adjust game plans, stagnant rotations, stuff like that, which we would attest to.
Fair.
Like those are all fair. Those are all fair criticism. Yeah. We're not knocking those. And if you want to talk about and then you add New York Knicks, it's just like the perfect recipe for just like something to go viral, right? Because if you go through most of those,
recruit,
exactly.
Like, it's all
like if you like, look how we say like the joke is Knicks for clicks, right? How fast does it get circled around and retweets, likes, all that type of stuff? It just gains traction. Like it helps gain traction.
My coach used to cook point guards in the NBA, man. Why? Who? I mean, look at Penny Hardaway in Memphis. Like people are going to Memphis even though they were in such a bad state because Penny Hardaway's the coach. Like forget if you can coach or not. Like it's Penny Hardaway. He cooks people for a living. So I'm gonna join him. That's exactly what Holloway wants.
Dude, let's go over to football, right? You got Deion Sanders for college. Like people want to go there, right? Why? Because you know how good he is as a cornerback.
He convinced the literally number one recruit, number one cornerback to go to historically black college, and everyone's freaking out. Literally the criticism there is Barstool Sports must be paying them on the side because why else would any human being go to HBCU when he's recruited by the top schools in the country? Because the coach. You're like, bro, you do this, and I'm trying to do exactly what you're doing. So he's probably trying to recruit a point guard. You know what I'm trying to say? And
my thing is like, yes, that's definitely like why he's going on to help recruit. But
tinfoil hat, of course. Tinfoil hat.
Sure. But I'm not saying that they used all of this to conjure just to get everything out. I'm not saying that. But
it was a long interview, by the way. I listened to the whole thing because of this little clip. It was a really long interview. Like,
it's a long interview.
If you were just listening to the podcast, you wouldn't really like take that, cut it up. Like you would just be like, oh yeah, nice story. He played Rick Brunson in summer league. Like, but how it was cut up, and the whole Tom Thibodeau thing to just, like you said, has all the elements of a perfect Knicks for click story. Let's hate Tom Thibodeau together. I mean, it's just too much, man.
No, for sure. And shout out to Sports Chatter who shared it. But they're like, I'm not saying that they did it intentionally just to get a viral video out there. But I'm just curious to like how truthful that story, huh?
that clip was cut very deliberately.
Yeah, it was an independent account that did it, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure the amount of truth to that story because there's a lot of holes that you could just be like, he wasn't even there, bro. And the last thing I'll say on it, and we can keep it moving along, is that he said that he then played for the New Jersey Nets, and in the 2004 season when Jason Kidd missed the beginning of the season, came back in December. And they had who was it he referenced? He talked about Travis Best as a starting point guard, and he made the team.
I don't Travis Best, bro. I hate him for so long.
My thing,
I don't know why he came on my radar today. That bothered me. The Pacers, the Nets. Ugh.
My thing is this, so like, and here's the thing. Here's like where I question. I encourage everyone else to question. Right? If he made the team, right? I'm not taking away that he made the team, that he got invites to all this stuff, that Holloway got these invites. If he was so nice, why didn't he stick? We had Jordan Griffith on, right? He talked about there is politics. He did not shy away. He said there is politics, and he used to work for MSG. He said there are politics, but if you're nice, you're nice. Like, you're going to get playing time. That's the thing. So the politics comes for like the in between, right?
The only pushback I'll say is he is nice. Like, he was nice at ball in college. He was nice
college.
at ball. You're nice at ball enough to get even to a roster in the NBA, and he's nice enough at ball to be able to coach. With St. Peter's, rumors that he practices with them. He was good with Seton Hall, and he's going to be good with this new Seton Hall team. Which,
I'm not saying
has a really good recruiting class.
I'm not saying that he's not nice as a basketball player. Let's make that clear. I'm not saying that he can't ball. I'm not saying that he can't hoop. But there's another level when you get to the NBA, right? If you're telling a story,
point guard.
If you're telling that you're cooking people at the NBA level,
but he's cooking third stringers. He's trying to make a squad. If he's telling me he's cooking Jason Kidd. If he's telling me he was, cooking even the Heisman winner in Charlie Ward, who was the last Knicks player for us to,
if he said that in the story, we're starting to be like, all right, bro, like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
So he has to make it, but he has to.
He picked Brunson, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You have to choose something reasonable. I agree with you. I'm just saying. I'm just questioning, man. That's all I am. I'm just questioning.
It's fair.
I'm just questioning. But you know what else is fair to question? Reports that we're getting about Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, God.
Yo.
Dude.
Can we talk about? Hold on, let me read this tweet.
This is the annual. Like, what are the Jazz gonna do, and how are the Knicks involved? Like, this is the annual, cycle every single year. So hit me with it, man. Hit me with it.
Let me read this. We have Sean O'Connell of SiriusXM host, PFL play-by-play announcer. He tweeted out saying, and I'm reading word for word, starting the quote. Sean O'Connell says, I know I'm not usually a Utah Jazz breaking news guy, but a source close to the situation has informed me that Rudy Gobert is at him or me point with Donovan Mitchell and will demand that one of them be traded in the next few days. Doesn't feel they will win championship together. Rudy feels that his own numbers are consistent or getting better, while Donovan is a defensive liability and is falling off in terms of explosiveness. Gobert, also aware of at least one Western Conference power that would be willing to pay handsomely for his abilities. NBA teams never tamper, ... in parentheses that he puts. And then he later quote tweets Rudy Gobert, who tweets every day, has its own new rumor with a rolling eye emoji, saying, and Sean O'Connor quote tweets it saying, seems like the reasonable thing to share to this too. Seems like a reasonable thing to share this too. So I'm looking at all these tweets. Of course, NBA players don't want to acknowledge things that are going down, that players have requested trades or stuff like that. We had Jusuf Nurkic, shoot down any Damian Lillard trades and whatnot, right? And we will never know. We're not in the conversations. So it could be possible that he's going to do that. Who the hell knows? But look, man, we can't not look at the Utah Jazz after them playing the Dallas Mavericks and losing to the Dallas Mavericks. Like, Dallas Mavericks didn't have Luka Doncic for 2-3 games, right?
Yo, but they had the killer.
But they had the killer Jalen Brunson. Yeah. They had Jalen Brunson. And you can't tell me from watching that game, like, sure, we saw Donovan Mitchell slip defensively. Like, he wasn't playing good defense for the most part of the series. And then Rudy was also getting cooked by Jalen Brunson. Like, let's not put that to the side. Let's put that in the forefront as well. Do you think there's any truth to this, man? Do you think someone's going to request? And if I had to guess if this was a legitimate thing, right? If I had to guess, how can it not be Rudy Gobert that gets traded over Donovan Mitchell? I think Utah would try to do everything in their power to keep Mitchell. What are your thoughts? Let's first start off with, do you think there's smoke to this?
Okay, so number one, there's always smoke between Gobert and Mitchell. Whether you're watching the games, right, where they're literally yelling at each other, when it's the time crunch. And, literally, like, I'll never forget, like, this last one that happened where Mitchell was, like, walking back and Gobert's talking to him and he's going, like, okay, I heard you. Okay. Like, that's the guy you hate on the basketball court. Like, dude, stop talking to me. I'm so much better than you, right? He's like, bro, all right, I got you. And that demeanor means something, because nobody's talking to Randle like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he's having the worst game, like, RJ can't go up to Randle and be like, bro, fix it. Because if he did, Randle would go nuclear. But there is something about that power dynamic where Gobert, feels that it's okay as the max player also to, say something like that. And Mitchell doesn't like it. So there is a power struggle, at least on the court. Okay. Now let's talk about what we've been begging for, which is a Jazz first round exit again. Okay. And so there has to be smoke, to there. I don't know if it's coming from Gobert personally. Okay. I'm not going to go that far, but for that tweet to come out, I do think that that's coming from, let's just call it the organization, right? Danny Ainge is there, and he's a criminal mastermind. Let's call him. Okay. I don't want to trade with the Utah Jazz with Danny Ainge there, and I don't really believe anything that comes out of Utah because of him. He's that good. Okay, that's respect for me as a GM. Like, he kept everything really close and tight with the Celtics, and he's going to do that again with the Jazz. Now you're asking me, whose fault is it? Like, who would they trade, right? And that's where, honestly, at the end of the day, it's a win-win / lose-lose situation for Utah, in the meaning that, yes, Donovan Mitchell, I agree with the tweet. He is a defensive liability. I mean, if you're watching basketball, he's a defensive liability in the playoffs. It just is what it is, man. And then if you look at the opposite side, Gobert is definitely an offensive liability in the playoffs, right? It's obvious. And also, he's a little bit of a defensive liability. I know he's defensive player of the year. Trust me, I love centers. But bear with me for 1 second. He's really bad on the stretch. He's really bad with the pick and roll. But he does clog up the paint. Okay, so he is valuable, right? If you give him a power forward that is a stretch 4, that's perfect for Gobert. He just never had it. Okay. Now flipping back to Mitchell, he's supposed to be the offensive juggernaut, right? So in a great world, Gobert, you just get some rebounds, clog up the interior D. Donovan Mitchell, he'll kill with the offense. He's a liability in the defense. Oh, no problem. We'll fix that with the role players. That's the whole point. But dude, Donovan Mitchell, I don't want to say the comparison that I've been telling you off camera, man, because it's going to give me a lot of smoke. However, the guy
might get you murdered.
He folds in the playoffs, dude. I don't know what to say. I mean, forget the fact that what was like the stat that you kept bringing up in the middle of this year? He passed to Gobert like 4 times, like
2 or 4 times, something like that, something silly like that.
Number one, that says something. But number 2, dude, like, he's supposed to be this offensive prowess. You can't shoot 21% from 3 in the first round, man. In a must-win first round, like, the narrative, that the team might be looking to move forward, especially because there's a new regime in the front office. That Dan Snyder might move on too, right? There's all rumors about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That this is a really important first round.
Quinn Snyder, not Dan Snyder.
Sorry. Quinn Snyder, sorry. Still a little bit in football mode. Quinn Snyder. And at the end of the day, dude, you shot 21% from 3 and you sucked on defense. So when you come to me and you're like, yo, the Knicks, because Donovan Mitchell, big Mets fan, tweeting about the Mets, as he should. You mentioned the top. They're one of the best teams in the Major League right now. Them and the Dodgers, top of the NL.
I mean, his Pops also works for the Mets too, right?
Pops played for the Mets. I'm pretty sure he works there. I'm not sure what capacity, but I'm sure he's affiliated in some way. But he played for them. Mitchell wears Mets jerseys to press conferences. Like, he is creating smoke. So we're not being these irrational, crazy fans. But I'm going to be an irrational, crazy fan for 1 second, man.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I want Donovan Mitchell. Woo! I really don't know, dude. And especially if you're gonna come at me with the RJ Barrett stuff, like, I wouldn't like.
Wouldn't trade him for God. Shout out to State.
For real though, but it's not even like that for me. But if the Jazz are calling me Leon Rose, if Angel's calling Rose and I'm Rose, and he's like, "Yo, I heard you guys want Mitchell. He wants to come. Let's start with RJ." I'm closing the phone. I'm honest to God closing the phone. And then when you start talking to me about IQ, I'll say, okay, you know what I mean? But then you're going to start adding stuff to IQ, like Randle, picks, etc., because Mitchell is just all pro. No way. I know I sound insane, But dude, how much better is Mitchell than IQ? Is he $200 million better? No way. Like, no way. So I don't know if you want to walk. I know he's your boy. He's from your hometown. Like I know he's really good. I know the Knicks passed on him, so there's a lot of hard feelings here, and especially when it comes to the fact that the Knicks fans, Knicks organization in general, has a pretty bad resume when it comes to, oh my God, we could have traded this person for this star, ended up keeping him, right? Because we thought he was going to be good. He's a bust, and the star is a star, right? So I'm also weary of that. Who was the latest one? What was that? Was that Shumpert? We could have got rid of Shumpert.
Could have traded Shumpert for Kyle Lowry.
Okay, that was like the latest one that we're like, oh my God, we're such idiots, right? So I'm weary of that. I'll be honest with you, like I'm weary of it. But dude, talk to me about Donovan Mitchell in this playoff run. Like, what do you see that I don't?
Look, I'll agree with you on this. Is he $200 million better than Emmanuel Quickley? No, like he's not the max guy, even though he has the accolades, right? Like Donovan Mitchell has the accolades. We saw him like come into this league, and he took the league over by storm, right? I mean, it was like, yo,
like 50 a game.
Who is this dude who's the 13th, 2017 13th pick, and is just like gangbusters? Like we're talking about a 3-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Rookie First Team, NBA Slam Dunk champ, right? Even though it's kind of a mid dunk competition.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, so he's a good player. Like I'm not going to knock his resume for such a young player. And when you look at it, for the most part, if you look throughout his playoff like career, he shoots really well. Like for the most part, he shot pretty well. He's been in the playoffs since he's come into the NBA.
Sure.
Since he's come into the NBA. Not a lot of players do that and can make that type of impact. Mm-hmm. Okay, like we cannot knock that.
Shout out to Gobert though, Defensive Player of the Year for like 4 of those years.
Gobert adds to that, and like the entire Jazz team is a solid team. Like let's not poo-poo that team. Like whether it was Connolly, Rubio, whether you had Gordon Hayward on the team, Millsap,
squad.
Yo, Gobert, you have Ingles, like you had a lot of guys on the team that helped made that team. Royce O'Neal, another team.
Royce O'Neal.
Like all these guys help make the Jazz. And you also have a good head coach in Quinn Snyder. So all that together.
Dude, what would this team even be without Jordan Clarkson the last 2 years? I think they wouldn't make the playoffs. Like the guys are murdering. And you guys are sneaking into, the playoffs. Sometimes you have good seeds, but you can't win a round. So that means like I was listening. Shout out to Rosillo and Bill, whatever the hell is like Bill Simmons. His name's on my mind. It's like BS. I'm not going to say I made it up, but Rosillo made such a good point on the latest podcast that I totally agree. Every NBA team needs 2 centers, a regular season center and a playoff center, because it's just 2 different players that you need for those 2 different assignments. You know what I mean? Like Drummond sucks in the playoffs. Like he sucks. Like Gobert sucks in the playoffs. But yo, I really want Gobert and Drummond for 82 games. they're monsters. Every night and night, they're going to give me double-doubles, like 15-15, a couple blocks. Like they make some spectacular plays. It's fantastic, But when it comes to the playoffs, man, you just can't have it. Like they threw Karl Anthony Towns in there, which I don't know if I agree with. But they sure have the the stats to back that up. But there is this little stigma, man. Is Donovan Mitchell a playoff guard? Like, is he a playoff guard, bro? Because I know that. I think he's a playoff guard at the end of the day. Even though he falls out, he's a regular season guy. He's not by. I believe in him. But is Donovan Mitchell a playoff guard, man?
I think the thing, like, we have to understand like who he was competing with in 2017 to now. Like we're talking about the Golden State Warriors at that time, right? You're not going past the Warriors during the 2017 with Kevin Durant.
No, it was early. Oh, it was a KD year. Okay.
Yeah, KD. Like you're not going through
that. All those years are like mixed up.
2017, 2018, 2019. You're not beating the KD, Steph, Clay Warriors with Draymond, all those guys.
Well, you shouldn't be the 8th seed, bro. Don't be the 8th seed then. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, don't be the 8th seed.
That's not, but doesn't matter. Like, honestly, but at the end of the day, you're not being the Rockets with James Harden that time either, and Chris Paul. You're not taking those guys down.
Why not?
I also look at who they're competing with. He's still a playoff guard. Like he'll take you farther than anyone that we've had in a long time as a guard.
Sure. Right? That's the thing. I don't want to mince words and say, oh, you're saying that Donovan Mitchell sucks. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I agree.
Is he the $200 million guy that you fully max out? No, he's not. He's not that guy.
What are you going to surround him with, bro? First of all, we have to trade for him. We're going to get fleeced in a trade. But what are you going to surround him with?
And by the way, when I say
we can't have a good center. We can't have an all-pro defensive center. Apparently, isn't enough. Okay, Mike Conley isn't enough. We don't have Mike Conley, bro. We've never had Mike Conley. It's not enough. Ricky Rubio.
I agree with you.
Ricky Rubio.
Donovan Mitchell.
Jordan Clarkson. We don't have Jordan Clarkson, bro. We don't have these guys. And so if you're gonna come in and you're gonna tell me you're gonna help me, and I tell you, bro, I can't even get you the support that you have in the Jazz. Then what are we doing? Like, we're just signing up for 5 years of misery, bro.
So it comes down to what are you trading to get Donovan Mitchell? And I think his asking price has dropped dramatically. You're not going to what you're paying during the regular season. I don't think you can still be. There's no way you can ask for that.
That's interesting.
That I don't think is going to happen because this playoff series, it wasn't as bad as his second year in the league, but you can always attribute to like sophomore slump, that type of stuff, whatever.
It was bad.
He shot 39.8% from the field this playoff series with 22 attempts, bro. 22 attempts. Man was bricking. All right. He shot 20.8% from three off of 8 attempts.
Dude, I'll never forget. Dude,
what's still amazing though, but what's still amazing is that he still averaged 25.5 points with an effective field goal percentage of 43.6.
Sure.
I don't know how he did it, but he did it. It's obviously a high volume that he's doing. And again, he obviously gets to the line too. He's a truck. He averages about 7 attempts per time in the playoffs. Minimum you're going to get from him in the playoffs at this point is 7 attempts at the free throw line.
Can I ask you a question though? What's his usage? What was his usage, bro? Because that's what I'm worried about. Like, you always bring it up when we're bringing free agents in here.
Oh, it's going to be high.
Traded players in here. And if his usage is so high and they can't win a damn game, then what are we talking about, man? You know what I'm trying to say? What are we talking about?
I feel you.
We're gonna lose in the first round.
You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it.
What's his usage?
You're not gonna like it.
What is it?
Let's just say.
Just say it.
Let's just say that this man has a 34.5% usage.
Oh my God. Dude.
And by the way, here's the best part, and you're gonna really hate this. You're gonna hate this one.
I'm gonna say.
You're gonna hate this one. I'm not done yet. Because I could say that it's very high. Like, if you just hear 30%, it's a very high usage. That means a third of your offense is running through him. But amongst combo guards, according to Clean the Glass, he's number 1 in usage.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say it. I hit it for as long as possible. I didn't even see the usage rate. He's a lot like RW in the playoffs, man.
Stop.
He's a lot like RW.
Stop.
He is RW in the playoffs. Why not? He has an amazing regular season.
Sure.
Listen, every season he has an amazing regular season. All pro, can't stop him. Now you go play defense in the playoffs. The other team, they study you. They have a game film on you, and then his usage stays the same, and he stinks. They don't win games, bro. Dude, I'm so off. I'm so off the Melo trade for Mitchell. I'm so, like, literally.
I don't think it will
maybe
be,
8 weeks ago. 8 weeks ago, you called me with Randle, IQ.
Oh, I know. We were talking about
all my draft picks, and we'll call it a day. You can even have like Burks, because they love Burks so much, because he drops like 30 on them every time he plays them. No problem. Take all those guys. Give me Mitchell back. We'll call it a day. Now, dude, I'm having trouble. Like, IQ, I'm having trouble trading IQ. I swear to God, I'm having trouble trading IQ. I'm having trouble with the first round pick. I'm just having trouble with it. Like, I'm not just handing it over now, because I'm staring at Donovan Mitchell. And I'm like, dude, what are you gonna do for me? Like, you're gonna win me some regular season games? We've been there, bro. Randle wins me regular season games.
Yeah.
Seriously, not this year, but last
not
year.
The first. He's been here for 3 seasons. He only did it once.
Whatever, bro.
At least Donovan Mitchell. Hold on. At least Donovan
get
Mitchell.
Out in the first round. Both of them.
Let me say this. Let me say this. On teams, and this is why I'm not off Donovan Mitchell. Like, and you're not alone. There's a lot of people who would not trade for Donovan Mitchell right now. You're not alone.
That I hate him. It's not that I hate him.
I'm not saying that you do.
I'm nervous.
I'm not saying that you do. And there's a good amount of Knicks fans who are off him right now because of the fact of how much you'd have to trade to get him, and that's totally understandable. That is understandable. It's not saying you wouldn't take Donovan Mitchell on this team. You don't want to get Donovan Mitchell for the amount of assets it's going to cost to get a guy with a high usage rate who leads in all combo guards in usage and then kind of dwarfs in the playoffs, especially this season. My response is this. We need somebody who can get us to that line throughout the season.
Are you trading
Donovan
IQ
Mitchell
or RJ?
Hold on.
Are you trading IQ or RJ?
No. What are we
Okay.
Maybe IQ, but I'm not doing RJ.
Okay. So we've at least moved past that platform, but now we're still 8 weeks ago. I told you IQ, you would have been like, bro, I'll drive him. And now we're like, we don't know.
RJ, no. IQ, I would consider based on what else is. It's always like what else is going in there. But I hear you. But all I'm saying is that on a Knicks team, you need a guy who can carry you to that line, which is the playoffs. We don't have that dude. If you're what you need after that is that guy is another guy who can help make it easier for them in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert is not that guy in the playoffs. Okay, he's not this great like elite center offensively that's going to help carry a team. Let's be real with the Utah Jazz.
We could do better. We could do better than Jordan Clarkson. Honest to God, we could do better than Jordan Clarkson. Or
Jordan
Mike
Clarkson is
Conley
a six man though. He's a six man.
Bro, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? He has a guy that's here to help.
But we're not ending building with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is not like the last piece. I'd cry if he was the last piece because I don't think that's going to offer
that the Jazz can't, man. What can the Knicks possibly, in the best case scenario, within the next 3 years? You know, I know we can't, really foreshadow 2-3 years because we don't even know what's going to happen this offseason, if we're being real. That's why we're talking about this. But dude, in your estimation, what the hell can the Knicks offer that the Jazz can't? They have an all-pro defensive guy. They had the sixth man of the year. They have one of the all-time best point guards, right? No matter how you slice it. They have, 3-and-D players that they let go and bring back. Like, they have everything, bro, and they can't win a playoff series. Like, I know I sound crazy. I know this is the John contrarian that everyone's gonna freak out about, but dude, I just don't know about Donovan Mitchell. I'm not 100% on him anymore.
I hear you. Let me ask you this though: who in that starting lineup, outside of Donovan Mitchell, who are you relying on a consistent night-to-night basis for offense outside of Donovan Mitchell?
On the Jazz?
Yeah,
Clarkson.
I'm saying starting unit. He's a six man.
Yeah, he would be the first person off the bench on the Jazz. I'm not looking at their stats, but I'm just like thinking about watching the games.
They relying on either Joe Ingles or like
Bogey. Ingles didn't play and they were still fine. But they always just kick it to the corner and then they bounce past it into Gobert if they need it. Or honest to God, like Gobert cleans up a lot of stuff. That's why, like your original question of like Gobert or Mitchell. Dude, Gobert is a deodorant for this team. A straight up deodorant, man. And so he cleans up boards. He clogs up. He makes teams have to hit threes and play that pick and roll. You know what I mean? And he just can't help himself. He can't do it. He can't do both, but he's still, he's doing his best. He's not Jericho Sims out there, you know what I'm saying? Running to half court and coming back. But he clogs up the middle a heck of a lot better than Sims. You know what I mean?
Let me finish this up for Jazz don't have a second offensive guy in that starting unit. Jordan Clarkson leads that bench unit. They need someone in the sec. Like if you watch any other team, right? If I said, hey man, if you told me Tobias Harris was on the Jazz, I'd be like, maybe a little bit more. But like if you have like, let's look at Philly right now. We could talk about how bad Harden's been, but if you had Harden and Embiid, if you had Harden and Embiid, that's ridiculous. You have Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Right, you have Tatum and Brown, right? You have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I'm naming two guys. Like there's at least two guys that we can talk about.
I hate all these teams except for the second to last one you mentioned, except for Brown and Tatum. I hate all those. I hate every single one of those pairings.
No, I hear you. I'm not talking about the team, but I'm just saying, like, listen to the two guys I'm naming. Right, they're top tiered guys, top tiered offensive scores that we're talking about. I say Donovan Mitchell. There's nobody else. He needs some. I'm saying he needs some help, even though he has like a really good team.
I have a question. How do you think that Donovan Mitchell would do with, say, James Harden? Let's put him there. Let's put a good James Harden.
It wouldn't work. No, that wouldn't work.
Okay, let's put him with Kyrie. It wouldn't work. It would maybe work with Kevin Durant because of who Kevin Durant is. But Mitchell, dude, I'm telling you, the more I think about it, the more he's like RW, man. I don't know if he could use a guy who wants the ball.
Are you saying that?
Look at his usage rate.
Are you saying that he's too ball dominant that it's hard to pair him with somebody?
Yeah, with a type of guy that you want, that you're talking about right now. Yeah, but he needs the Jazz know exactly what he needs, man. He needs a 6-man to just score at will when he sits down. He needs 3-and-D guys in the starting lineup, right? And he needs a center to get his boards. And honestly, to pick up when the guy gets by him. Like, if you notice, all of the role players for the Jazz all play defense. All of them. The number one thing they do is play defense. Why? Because their number one guy who gets the most just doesn't. At the end of the day,
let's keep it a buck, and then we can move on to Rudy Gobert, because I got a question on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
We can move on with this. To keep it a buck, if my guy has also got to score a lot and then play defense, it's a lot. It's a lot to ask. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Most guys can't even do it in this NBA.
I don't want that crap on my team, bro. I don't want that crap. That's gonna roll with Tibbs, bro. Tibbs is gonna trade for that.
Tibbs gonna be the guy. He's here all long term, or is it okay with?
Well,
Johnny Bryant?
He's here right now. So he's not. He's no way, bro. You're gonna call me like, bro. I don't know if he's gonna play defense, but he'll have 35%.
Or maybe he wants to play,
bro.
or maybe he's not playing defense so that way he can lower his trade value to get out of Utah and come to the Knicks.
Listen, man. If you're gonna tell me that he's just pissed off at the Jazz and he just needs a new beginning, I am with you. But do not give me what he's been putting up. You have to tell me that things will change because XYZ.
I think they will. Usually it happens. Guys go for the most part, guys goes to new situations. And if it works out.
Listen, man, I don't know if I've been listening to too much Russillo, but every time they grade a deal, all these players that are disgruntled and go to a new squad, nothing. Zip. No wins, nothing. Just nonsense to the new team. Think about it. Think about the last 5 that I can name off the top of my head. Harden. We have KD. Kyrie, who else? Kyle Lowry. Like all the players who are disgruntled and move on.
Was Lowry disgruntled in Toronto?
Andre Drummond, yeah, he wanted to stay. All right, that was the whole thing. I don't know. These are my. I'm just trying to objectively talk about the NBA because I know what it looks like from the Knicks fan perspective. We want everyone, and if you don't, you're an idiot. I'm just thinking as an NBA fan because I want to get into other NBA stuff with you.
So
we mentioned it.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving because I've got a question on Rudy Gobert. We can touch because I don't think it's really real. I don't think it's that realistic for Rudy Gobert. I think if the Knicks are in on somebody, it's Donovan Mitchell over Rudy.
Nobody's trading for a $200 million center.
Thank you. Okay.
Nobody.
As much as, and I agree with you, Rudy would clean up a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. He would mask a lot of it.
He'd be like, afford him.
It'd be like getting Tyson Chandler all over again.
Yeah. Sounds great. We can't afford him. A Randle contract doesn't even come close to it.
Yeah, no. And I would never ask for a $200 million center to begin with. So
it's too much. They obviously regret paying him $200 million.
All right. So let's keep this thing moving because we got 2 other guys that are still in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson, man.
I mean, we mentioned his pops. Exactly. Dude, he's a beast.
Dude.
I love him. I honestly, I don't know what else to say. I love Jalen Brunson. The way he's maneuvering himself in the playoffs. I mean, I was a little worried. I'll be honest. I was worried that he was just another Brunson Arroyo. Is his first name Brunson? Another Arroyo for the little Puerto Rican kid from that was playing on Dallas. That was killing it for point guard. I really thought that maybe Dallas just breeds these types of guards, these small guys, and they just have these flashes in the playoffs. They pay him, and then he's just really a backup point guard. I was worried about it. Also, they got Spencer Dinwiddie. I was like, bro, what do they see that I don't? Right? If they're worried about Luka, they got Jalen. Why are they bringing in Dinwiddie? I think they brought in Dinwiddie so they could see if they'd be able to manage Jalen Brunson leaving. That's what I'm really starting to see because he's murdering. There's no way they could afford him. I at this point, I am 100% convinced he's not staying in Dallas. And if that's the case, it becomes like a 65-70% chance he's going to the Knicks in my estimation. It would be general manager, like, what's the word? Incompetency. If we trade our whole team for Donovan Mitchell. Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett is disgusting to me on a basketball court. Absolutely awful. Right? And on the other side, we could have had Jalen Brunson, a point guard who plays defense, who breaks through playoff defenses, who could hold a team in a playoff series. Honestly, a series. I know it was only a couple of games and he got shut down a little bit towards the end, but he could hold a series. He could hold 3 games out of 7. That's a series for me. It would be agreed. And he doesn't have an ego. There's no way he has an ego, right? He's a 3rd string point guard right now and he's killing. Where's the ego, right? I need him. I need Jalen Brunson, especially if you're going to bring me to the table and say, here, you want to trade for Donovan Mitchell? Sorry. If you want to trade for Donovan Mitchell, or do you want to sign Jalen Brunson for too much money? Too much. 25 mil. Too much. It's too much. I agree. Especially when you asked me last year about Van Fleet and we're like, yo, 22, too much. Was it too much? The salary cap going up, bro, give it to him. We have no other options for 3 years, bro. Give him a 3-year contract.
He's not taking 3 years. He's taking 4 years. You're signing Brunson for 4 years.
No problem. The 4th year will be an expiring deal if he stinks. Like this is no problem, man. There's no point guard coming to the Knicks within 3 years, 4 years. He's not coming. He's not available. He's not here.
I like Jalen Brunson, and I was on the train, banging the drum for Jalen Brunson too early on. But the way Emmanuel quickly closed out the season, man, this is where it's a little tough. This honestly, what quickly did to end the season makes it tough, not only as a fan, but also I can only imagine the front office right now because there's just so much going on. All right, we just saw quickly improve as a playmaker. He got a shot back. He's grabbing boards, playing good on-ball defense. But then you look over here, the guy that you've been wanting this entire time in the playoffs, bro. 24 points, 23 points, 31 points, 41 points, 24 points, right?
Well, look at his usage.
And he's playing right next to Luka.
Yeah. Well,
right. And when Luka's not there, when Luka wasn't there for game 2, he put up 41 points and needed 3rd game to win again. He put up 31 points. Luka comes back. They lose by 1 point.
That was a Spencer Dinwiddie 3 that he hit twice already to win ball games. He just missed it. They could have won that game too.
And the thing is, you watch Jalen Brunson, you see that he's crafty. He's so good, man. When he gets into the paint, he averages, bro, in the paint, 2 points. Nasty. He's averaging 54.5%.
Dude, he's nasty.
His footwork, top tier. Defense, not elite, but solid enough to get you by for a guy
who's Mitchell.
Small. Yeah, good 3-point shot. Good 3-point shot. All right, he's averaging 37% off of 3 attempts per game. I
love him. I love him.
And he's giving you 16 points during the regular season. And the dude has stepped up in the playoffs. You cannot knock playoff performances, especially when you're playing against a tough Utah Jazz team that's coached really well. And you're finishing against Rudy Gobert, right? Rudy Gobert, who, by the way, on the regular season, according to Cleaning the Glass, is a minus 8.2, which is in the 99th percentile for defensive points per possession, a minus 8.2. He's one of the best defensive bigs out there to stop players, but yet you have a 6-foot guard getting in there and finishing and getting shots up. That just tells me a lot, man. It tells me a lot about him as a player, and you watch how he's able to work off ball with Luka. And so when you see, especially when he's averaging 12 field goals per game, just attempts, you can tell me and getting you 16, you can fit him next to anybody. He doesn't need the ball that much and can help others get into there. I hear you 100% on that.
You hit it. You answered your own question. You just answered your own question. He could play with anyone, dude. He's not going to stop IQ. Who is going to stop IQ is Mitchell, bro. First of all, we're going to have to trade him. But even if he played together, dude, he would really...
There's a guy on the team that'll stop him. His name's Tom Thibodeau. He does not play 2 small guards next to each other.
If they're good, he would, man. He played, I know he's not small, but he played Jimmy Butler, together at the same time as Rose when Butler was just another guard, right? Before he kind of moved up into the defensive, 3 and D, or really
if you're telling me that I get to see 30 minutes from both Brunson and IQ on a nightly basis, sign me up. That's not even a question. But I think that's going to be hard.
I don't think it would be 30-30 split. I think IQ would obviously get less. But what if he just plays the 6-man role? Who cares?
That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough to sell, man.
I don't want IQ starting point guard. I'm sorry. I want him to be my bench point guard. I know.
Then he's gone after the rookie contract, man. He's getting traded. He's got
Why? Dude, if we're successful, there's no way he's going anywhere. If he's coming in and he's controlling the offense for, 25, 30 minutes a game or whatever it is, 26 minutes.
Do you think this team, because his contract's going to expire, he's going to his third. He's got one more after this. Do you think the Knicks are going to be solid enough in 2 years where it's like, I could take a backseat role to Jalen Brunson, or I think I have he's also human.
Dude, in 2 years, we're gonna know a lot about this team. We're either this team has progressed and we're moving forward, or it's a complete restart. New coach, new everything, new guards, right? New centers, new everything in 2 years.
All I'm saying, man, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that. It's hard to look at quickly and see what he did, and then say we're gonna go with Brunson, because I feel if it was a different coach, honestly, if it was a different coach, because Quickly was averaging 28 minutes by the end of the season. You can't just cut that back to being a sixth man.
Okay, but if you're so worried about IQ, then it's either you trade him for Donovan Mitchell, or you keep him and you actually give him a starting point guard in Jalen Brunson. So,
well, that's the thing.
In any case, I'd rather keep him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I would love to keep. I'm not saying I don't want
Mitchell
Quickly.
and RJ Barrett makes me want to throw up. I don't know what else to tell you.
We're not even on that top anymore. We're off.
That's going to be the most least efficient offense in the history of history.
We are off that topic. We are off that topic.
You're getting rid of Quickly.
We're talking about Brunson and Quickly at this point, and I think it's very difficult for the front office to be. I get the whole if I'm team first before individual player, 100%. If they get Jalen Brunson, I'll be rooting for Jalen Brunson. The day he holds up that jersey, he's standing next to the coach and whatever. 100%.
I love Jalen and IQ, bro. Oh my God, that sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, but I just don't see
amazing.
Someone's minutes is getting cut.
Listen, Tibbs played D Rose and IQ when he could, and he was upset that couldn't happen this year. I think he doesn't mind playing two guards, to be honest with you. I don't think that's an issue. I know he brought that up, but now I'm thinking about it. I don't think that's an issue for him. I really don't. Not as a starter. Like, you're not going to start Jalen Brunson and IQ. That's just terrible. Like, you're going to get killed by big point guards and shooting guards. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. But, dude, having IQ off the bench, that's nasty, bro. That's nasty. That's a good
point. That's a good point that you brought. I'll give you that. That's a very good point that you brought up with D Rose and Quick playing together. Okay?
Or Burks and anyone. That's our point guard.
Burks is a wing. I'm talking because the whole point is that, we saw it with Kemba, right? Tibbs is not going to play two small guards next to each other. That's the whole thing we heard last season. We're not going to get a D Rose Kemba combination. We got D Rose and Quick, which is a very good thing to point out. I'm just curious to how that's all going to work out. I'm just like if that does happen. I think the Knicks are going to try to get Brunson. He's an unrestricted free agent this offseason. But the thing is that the Knicks have they're capped out, so they have to trade guys, sign and trade in order to absorb that contract. So that's where the whole tricky point comes in. And I don't believe Cuban's saying he's not going to be open. The Mavs can't afford it, bro. Look, let's keep it real for the Mavs. You can't tell me that you're going to be able to move Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway Jr., and everybody else on that team before Jalen Brunson. Like, Jalen Brunson is like the easiest guy, and he's going to want $100 million contract. Okay. If you're with Dallas, if you're staying with Dallas, you're not taking the discount. You're not taking the home team discount. And what sucks for Dallas,
it's gonna be less than 100.
Huh?
I think it's gonna be less than 100.
Maybe depends. I don't think so with Dallas though. If
you wouldn't give him a J, okay. Last thing. You just said we have to trade. If they call you and say we want Julius Randle, bring him home, right? Worldwide West and Julius Randle were at the Dallas versus Jazz game. Everybody's screaming that it was because of the Jazz. In my estimation, it was because of Dallas, man, and Brunson. And it's almost like when NFL, coaches go and recruit, the linebacker, and then like, oh my God, who's that guard that just blocked that linebacker every play? I really feel like that's what happened because Jalen Brunson went nuts that game. And they're like, bro, I know we're talking and thinking about Mitchell, but this guy Brunson's insane. So my question to you is, are you giving Brunson a Randle contract? Like, sign and trade for Randle.
Am I giving Brunson a Randle contract?
Yeah.
That's not even a question. Whoa. Hold on. Oh, I see where you're going with this. No.
that's what I'm saying.
No.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I'm sorry. the reason why I say no is because I just realized what's going on here. I would say I just realized what's going on. I had a brain fart. No, I'm not giving him a Randle contract. 25 million over 4 years. A little rich for my blood. 25 million a year. It's very rich.
If Dallas says, "Yo, give me Randle, we'll sign and trade you Jalen Brunson."
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not hanging up.
I'm not hanging up.
Even if they have to do something, I'm leaving the phone on the hook, bro. I'm not hanging up that phone.
I think I would have
Randle
to.
for Jalen Brunson on the contract.
I think I would have to. I think I'd have to match that contract just to get off a Randle and then get Brunson. I think in that situation I would, but I would hate it because I really don't want to give Jalen Brunson that type of that is a lot, bro.
Listen, man. Though I agree with you but we have to learn from our mistakes. How dumb do we feel for not wanting Fred VanVleet?
I wanted Fred VanVleet.
No, but you said for a price. We were like, oh yeah, like the 25 mil. We don't know, blah blah blah, and now it's cheap. Literally,
I agree with you. Look, the next cheap. CBA, it's going to
be cheap, dude. Jalen Brunson contract is going to be cheap within 2 years, man. Within 2 years, it's going to be a bargain.
That's a good
point. What if he's good? What if he's good at basketball? What if the Knicks have a good starting point guard, man? I'm gonna throw my desk over. You know what I'm saying? We have a starting point guard. Oh my god, like that makes me want to rip off my shirt and jump around.
Comical. Comical in Knicks fashion. The one guy that we overspend on is actually not good.
We're always worried about that. That's the whole thing. And that's why I'm trying this year to be a little more conscious of it because of the Fred VanVleet. Since we've been doing this podcast, that was a really big decision, right? It was like we never had a meeting about Chris Paul.
We never had a meeting, but if the Knicks said, "Hey, we're going to pay you 100," he was going to come down. Yeah,
I'm taking from the Knicks fan perspective. Like we were all over Chris Paul. We got killed for that. Turned out to be sort of right.
Don't even get me started on Chris Paul.
And I think we were wrong about Fred VanVleet.
I was like, oh,
half and half, 50%. Alex, we're 50%. We were right on Chris Paul. We were wrong on VanVleet. Okay, let's be honest. So let's hit with Brunson. But the last guy who we had a great podcast.
Shout out to Joe Mullinax.
Shout out to him, SB Nation. Previously with the Memphis Grizzlies page. And
still is. It's not over yet.
Okay, he's still there.
He's with them for the last run. This last playoff.
Okay. While we're in the playoffs here. And dude, the last guy is Tyus Jones. I think he's what's funny, dude? Whether it's Jalen Brunson, I won't say Donovan Mitchell. I'll say whether it's Jalen Brunson or Tyus Jones, they kind of are who we thought they were. Right? Jalen Brunson obviously exceeded a little bit, but Tyus Jones also on the other side, to even that out, kind of underwhelmed us a little bit. He is just a backup point guard, right? He is just a backup point guard. I know he played well.
This is my whole thing with Tyus Jones, man, is that he's great, true traditional point guard, and he can give you some spot starts when John Morant's out. But it's like when we had JD on here, I said he's a change of pace point guard. He's like your change of pace running back. When you watch
John Michael Morant, Carter, let's go, Breece Hall.
When you watch John Morant, who led the league this season in points in the paint, he led the entire league amongst big, right? Led the league with with 16.6 points in the paint this season. Led the league.
That's nice.
When you have someone who's that fast,
and then Mitchell Robinson in the paint, dude. Mitchell Robinson can't miss. This guy is best in the paint. That's nice. I like that.
Just not. I'm not talking about finishing. I'm just talking about getting points in the paint. That's
what I'm saying. But I'm saying he gets points in the paint, and Mitchell Robinson is leading, breaking records for the most efficient player, and we know that he's in the paint. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. So when you watch Ja and when he's that aggressive, that fast, and then you go from a guy who's that relentless to let me just be a little bit more methodical, careful with the ball. Changes the whole dynamic of a team, man.
You know what I've realized? Realized, Alex? That this decision for the Knicks, and I'm just gonna say these are the 3 point guards that are.
Let me ask you this:
it comes down to IQ.
Okay, here we go. And you're reading my mind. Okay, let's get to this.
It comes down to IQ. Let's get IQ for Mitchell.
So you're not doing that.
You put IQ as a 6 man and start Jalen Brunson, or you start IQ and you have Tyus Jones as the backup. Choose. Okay, that's it. That's
I love how you brought that up.
That's how we feel about IQ.
So if you have Tyus Jones and Emmanuel Quickly, you're starting Emmanuel Quickly, the point guard.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
But
that's really. I honestly like. It just like this just manifested to me, right? Like I'm telling you, I think that this decision comes down to what the Knicks want to do with Emmanuel quickly.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like this is very difficult. This is, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not like
I choose the middle. I choose number 2. I choose door number 2.
Jalen Brunson. You sure you don't want to take this? You sure you don't want this box with that may have a point guard in it?
Shout out to Family Guy. But listen, like dude, did you forget what IQ looked like in the first half of the year and in summer league? Like, did you forget?
I didn't, but the thing is, like, some guys finish the season strong and then come back. Like, you know who did that? Jordan Poole. I'm not. Whoa. That don't make. I'm not saying he's gonna be as nice.
I'm not on the Jordan Poole train. I'm sorry. I'm
what?
Not. I know.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I'm the only guy on the planet. I know.
All right, everyone. This is an emergency notification. We're ending this podcast. We're not running it anymore.
I understand, but I have a question. If he doesn't have the best 2 guards, in the modern era, is he Jordan Poole? Like it's tough for me to see that. I'm just saying. Like if you put him on Memphis.
Yes, it makes life a lot easier for Jordan Poole. Wow, this is way off tangent. It makes life a lot easier, but still, he was still being productive at the end of last season without Klay Thompson.
I'm just saying, Jordan Poole's on the Knicks, even though he did bad last year. I don't think he's Jordan Poole. That's what I'm saying. And on top of that, as a Knicks and a Jets fan, like closing out the season in a good fashion after playing horrific for 3/4 of it.
Man.
That is,
you believe in Zach Wilson?
New York fan. That's what I'm saying. Every year, whether it's Sam Darnold having fantastic end of the season, whether it's Zach Wilson, which
you're
I'm
really
hoping
doing this to me.
Not, whether it's the IQ every year, Obi at the end of last year, like every year, bro. Every year.
Actually, there's a good example. Obi Toppin.
Yeah. Oh, fair.
That's actually a really good example.
Fair.
Good. Finished the season off strong in the playoffs. Came back, looked really good, and ended even stronger.
I have no agenda here, bro. I'm just saying what I see, what I witness. Okay, I have no agenda. I want the Knicks to be good. Okay, like that's my agenda here. So
you and me both. You and me both.
Which one are you going to? I'm taking door number 2.
Man.
I need to hear from the Tratacaster because Donovan Mitchell's his boy from Westchester.
Nah, that door number 1 is not happening.
Oh, all right.
Oh, if I had to choose, I see where I see what's going. If I had to choose between door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3,
one.
Take door number 2
again.
I'm taking door number. I'm not taking Tyus Jones. I'm not taking Donovan. I'm taking Jalen Brunson all day.
But that puts IQ on the bench.
Yeah, but if I have to select between those 3 doors, I'm taking the best player for the best price.
Is he the best price though?
Yes, relative to what we have to pay for Donovan Mitchell, and relative to what you're getting out of Tyus Jones. Best price for best player.
But you get the start IQ. You get the start IQ, and he's happy, and the fans are happy.
Yeah, but Tyus Jones doesn't move the needle for me that much.
No. Fair. We're on the same page. I'm just trying to hit all the angles.
You gave me 3 options so that no one just kill me over here. John saying door number 1, I get Donovan Mitchell with RJ, but we trade IQ. But we have to trade our IQ. Door number 2 is Jalen Brunson, and we keep IQ, and Jalen starts. Or door number 3. We get IQ to start and get Tyus Jones. I'm not about door number 3. I like Tyus Jones.
To be honest with you, I'm 2-3-1.
Yeah, I could see that. I would probably be.
Dude, Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett.
It's rough. That's rough.
Bro. Like, write up the stories. Write them up now. Like, you're mad at Chris Berman now? Sorry, Chris Berman. Matt Berman now? Mark Berman now? Sorry, tough day. I'm way into football mode. You're mad about Mark Berman now? Imagine when the 2 most inefficient players play on one team. Dude, it's going to be bad news Bears.
The Chicago Bears are angry that you said that.
Dude, it's going to be bad news Bears, man.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Let's wrap this thing up, though. Let's wrap this thing up because we got some playoff basketball happening right now. We just had round 2 started yesterday. We had the Boston Celtics lose to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then we had the Golden State Warriors defeat the National Basketball Association referees. Oh, I'm sorry. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies. So we got another slate of games tonight. As we're recording, they're starting right now. We got the Philadelphia 76ers against the Miami Heat. And then the other matchup is the Phoenix Suns against the why am I blanking on that? The Dallas Mavericks. So, John, I'll give you first. What are your predictions for all these series? Let's start off with Bucks Celtics.
4-2 Milwaukee. They're gonna lose game 2 to Boston, and they're gonna lose game 5 to Boston.
Okay. What do you got? I'm going all okay.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay, sure. We'll do series by series.
Yeah.
I got the Bucks in 6. I'm with you.
Okay, so same 4-2. You have the same losses too?
Nah, I don't think it's gonna be the same. I don't think it's gonna be the same. I think Boston's probably gonna sneak one out in Milwaukee. I feel like something stupid is gonna happen like that. But
so you think they win game 2 though?
Yeah, Celtics win game 2, and they're probably gonna get game 4. But then Bucks are
Milwaukee close it out in Boston.
Yes.
Oh no, 6. So they lose to. Oh, well, okay. Well then. Okay, wow, in Boston, that'd be tough. Yeah,
they're gonna. I mean, we already saw them win in Boston, and they're gonna not close out, but they're gonna close.
Yeah,
out
that's why. That's why
they're gonna close. They're gonna close out. They're gonna close out in Milwaukee.
Okay, so I have 4-2 there. You have 4-2. I don't see the Celtics winning again in Boston. They're tough. It's a tough series, man. It's a tough series there.
Yo, you saw they were all limping. Yo, yeah. Giannis is an animal, bro. He's an animal. I know. How about that toss off the backboard to himself for the dunk? Yo,
he was playing with. We would, as resident fans,
he's playing with his
we
food.
would hate Giannis if he did that. We would hate Giannis if he did that forever.
Look, man, we don't hate Giannis because the King stepped over him when the Knicks beat the Bucks in Mario Hezonja. Okay.
Shout out Super Mario, bro, making the pot today.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go on to the next series. We got I'm going to keep it in the East. We got Philadelphia and the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. I got Miami Heat winning this one. No Joel Embiid.
What do you got? Rough. What's the series? Are they getting the 1 or no?
Oh, it's 5-1. It's 5-1 Miami.
I got a 4-1 in Miami.
Huh?
You're saying Miami in 5. 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1. Sorry. Yeah. In 5 games, Miami's winning. If there's no Embiid, it's
I got the brooms, bro. Embiid or not. I got the brooms out. Miami is gonna win. Miami's gonna sweep, bro.
James Harden chokes.
Bro, it's not even a choke. He sucks.
All right, this is your agenda.
He sucks. He sucks. Honestly, he had one good game.
This is like your perfect agenda right here. It is James Harden and Doc Rivers. The agenda is. I see it in your eyes, man.
He sucks for a year and a half, bro. He sucks for a year and a half. I don't understand why. 2 years almost. The Harden sucked, dude. There's nothing here. Embiid injured as usual. Oh, who could have drew that one up? That Embiid was gonna get injured in the playoffs, right? Everyone wants to talk about Chris Paul. You want to call me an Embiid hater? I like Embiid.
I'm not calling you an Embiid hater.
No, I'm just saying even my friends, like they think I'm the biggest Embiid hater is because he gets injured every year. I'm like, dude, give me DeAndre Ayton. He could play defense and he doesn't get injured. Like I know he's not gonna score 50, but he's gonna play. So, shout out to DeAndre Ayton. Hopefully he makes it to the Knicks. Maybe that's a little bit of my agenda. But I hate this. I hate the 76ers team. I hate them. I hate everything about them. They suck. And I hate James Harden. The fact that he cheats the game. Like, I don't understand how anyone could like him. He gets fat. He switches teams. He gets back in shape. He fights with everyone on his team. He doesn't run. He gets turnovers. Doesn't play defense. Like, what's there to like about James Harden? He
helps the community by going to strip clubs. That's what he does.
Yeah. Give me 4-0 Miami, bro.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And you got one win for Philly. It's not like I'm like going off on the
line. Look, I think someone's going to show up for one game. That's all I'm saying. All right.
They might show up, but they're not going to win.
Next series we got going on. I'm gonna save because I really want to talk about Warriors of Memphis for a hot second. Next series we got the Dallas Mavericks against the Phoenix Suns. Give me Phoenix all the way with this. Devin Booker's back.
What's your series?
This one is going. I think this one's going to be in 5 as well for the Suns.
Yeah. I got 4-1. I mean, this is the worst round of playoffs for me because I think that every series is a blowout. So I think this one's
going to be tough for Dallas. Like they're
too
heavily.
I had them winning game 3 at home.
That makes sense. It's just too tough for Dallas.
They won their first series, right? Luka finally won. Yeah. Got over the hump, and then it's time to go, bro. They have
it's just tough,
injuries.
Man, because they don't have a center. You tell me Dwight Powell's going to go up against DeAndre Ayton? That's food for DeAndre Ayton.
Sure, I agree.
All right, and then on top of that,
Hardaway. They need Hardaway, bro.
And they don't have him.
Yeah.
And they don't have no, they legit need it's not like he's like the tipper to help Mavericks get over the hump, but that would have been more of a series with Tim Hardaway. So you talk about Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges hooping, Jay Crowder's going to be annoying. Cam Johnson's going to be knocking down shots. Like they're deep, man. Phoenix is deep. They're Dallas is just not. The game. This is a series I'm talking about because they really are trying to make this a series for no. You want to talk about an agenda? The NBA had an agenda yesterday.
I know.
Whoa!
You don't think that Draymond Green deserved to get thrown out of that game?
No.
Go watch the replay of the new quote unquote new angle that came out today, where he literally punches him in the face first and then tosses him to the ground.
Yeah, he slapped him.
Watch it.
He slapped him. I'm not.
Bro, listen. I know that it's supposed to be a.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the entirety of the game. The entirety of the game. I didn't agree with the ejection. I did not. But they gave a lot of calls. Like if you look at who was the guy, like they're able to like replay, find Andrew, the ball goes off of Andrew Wiggins. Sure, they used a challenge on that one. But you can't tell me that the ball touched Memphis when I forget who was out of bounds. Was it Brooks that was completely out of bounds and the ball touches his jersey? I'm like, come on now.
You talking about that last play when they did a jump ball?
Yeah.
Dude, that was insane. Why on earth?
That's what I'm saying. It's the agenda. Forget Draymond.
There's a replay. Just call it one way and look at the replay. If you don't call it one way, you can't look at the replay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Call it away and look at the damn replay. That made no sense to me.
That's what I'm saying, bro, is that's where like Memphis got a lot of calls in their favor yesterday. Forget the Draymond. Even if Draymond's still in that entire game, they got a lot of calls in their favor. That's where my issue was. I'm like, yo, you're telling me that we can see Andrew Wiggins touch the shorts, but dude's literally out of bounds. Ball touches it's like it legit touches him. And you're like, jump ball. Cool. Okay.
That one made no sense because you could literally the only reason that they didn't look at the replay is because they decided to not make a call, which is ridiculous. Like just make the damn call.
And they can review it in the last 2 minutes. They could have. They chose not to.
You can't review a non-call though, can you?
I thought they could. I thought in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Anything is reviewable or it has to be a call?
I don't think it has to be a call.
Or is a jump ball a call? I'm not sure exactly.
I thought it can be. I thought like if it's questionable calls at the end, which it seemed was pretty questionable at the end, I thought you could review it.
Even if they call it jump, because I feel like there's this nuance where almost like in football where like you can't challenge a play that wasn't called. You know what I mean? If it was called, then you could figure it out.
If anyone out there knows, we're gonna look this up for the next pod, but I'm calling the Warriors getting this one in 6. It's not gonna be this is not gonna be a blowout. They really want this to go 7. I think they're gonna get 6 out of the series, honestly. And I think Memphis is gonna get it. I think Memphis is gonna get a hot shooting game and they're gonna get it. My thing though is that Memphis has shown their inexperience throughout this entire series, first series, especially against Minnesota. And you just see the youth. You just see that they don't have a lot of veteran leadership in certain areas. Like they have Steven Adams, sure, but it's a very young team trying to still figure it out. And it just shows. And the Warriors are just more. You got Clay, you got Draymond, you got Steph, you got Kevin Looney. You're talking about guys who've been in this position for so long. To go against the Grizzlies
and Kerr.
Yeah, no, obviously the coach, but like they've been through this before. So I just think with that type of experience, you got the splash party at this point with Poole, Clay, and Steph. Memphis will get 2 because of their talent. They're going to be running up and down the court, but I see the Warriors getting this one in 6.
Okay, that's fair. I have it in 5. I have Memphis winning game 3 again. That's always a sweet spot, especially because I think it's going to be a blowout game 2. I think Golden State's going to run them out of the gym game 2.
They didn't shoot
3,
well. That's
Memphis
the thing.
Exactly. Memphis comes back game 3, does the whole home field thing, wins the game. Everyone's now wondering, oh my God, this is going to be a series. Golden State wins 4 and then goes home and ends the series. And then it's like John Morant made a step. Tyus Jones gone. Jaren Jackson Jr., he's going to be better next year. They need shooters, like that type of narrative around them, which is fair. And then I kind of see the Warriors getting killed by Phoenix, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, when we get there, we'll get to
the last thing is with the whole. I want to ask you, does Draymond Green deserve the treatment of a what's the word? Of a repeat bad offender? Like, do you think that should have anything to do with it? Or is it like every single play is on a play-by-play basis, and we kind of look at it in a nutshell? You know what I mean? Because yes, I agree. Like if that was Looney that somehow hit some guy in the face and then kind of pulled his jersey, like it maybe he probably wouldn't have got thrown out. Which I maybe
like we're taking evidence over again. Where I'm like, are we trying?
What's relevant, bro? What's relevant? Because
is this a habit?
Is not relevant, bro.
But because this is what you're asking, if it's a habit, and
is it a habit or is there a prior bad act? That's the question. We're in the legal part of the podcast.
Because if it's a prior bad act, you can't translate that to every single game moving forward.
It's not relevant.
Every single one as an isolated incident.
Yeah.
However, if it's a habit, there's a.
And I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
I like Draymond Green.
I like him too, but he's annoying.
It's a habit.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. He deserves to get thrown out of the game. Like Pat Beverly does something, throw him out of the game. Like Draymond Green does something like that, throw him out of the game. If Steph Curry did that, bro, give him a flagrant one, fine him, and have him say he's sorry at the press conference. You know what I mean?
I get you, but no,
Draymond Green didn't even leave the facility. Like he's sitting there dapping everyone up. I love it.
T-shirt, glasses, Draymond.
I love it. I like John loves it, right? Like if I'm Draymond Green, I'm doing the same damn thing. I'm gonna go take a shower, wear some fly clothes, and give everyone a dap if we won that game. No problem. But like, if you're the NBA, you're like, dude, we ejected you from the game, and now you're still here. You know what I'm saying? You didn't leave in a proper manner. You're like, they're gonna fine him. And now, like the next time, as we said,
but honestly, like, what's the fine, Max?
Dude,
would be 50K?
After listening to Joe West, I know it's a little off. After listening to Joe West, because he's coming out of his own podcast, so he's doing his rounds today. He was on Part of My Take talking about, dude, these from the Donahue stuff. The refs have meetings and they talk about the players, man. They know the players, they know the tendencies, they know what they're waiting for, right? Like they watch the series. There's
honestly though, it's better that Draymond got ejected in the first game than it happened later in the series. And I think
shout out to Cleveland.
I hate that series for that reason. But if doing it in game one kind of sets the precedent saying, look, man, this is what I'm saying is a habit. Like we know what you're known for. All right. No one just nut kicks everybody like because you're just flying in the air and your legs just decide to go separate. Don't do this. That's essentially what they're saying. Don't do this. Like, do not do this. And okay, fine. I get it. I didn't agree with the call. I get the logic though, but it's a habit by Draymond. So I get why. I can understand it. I don't agree with it though.
That's fine. So the last thing I'll say is if you agree with us, except for the only thing we had different is you had Warriors in 6 instead of 5, and you have a Heat in 5, and I have 4.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know your parlay, but if you take my parlay, which is Miami Heat 4-0, Suns 4-1, Warriors 4-1, Bucks 4-2. Shout out to Winning Picks Weekly, bro. You put $15 on that, you win $5,000. That's where I'm sitting right now. So, hit up Winning Picks Weekly. Let's hope for some blowouts. Not for the sake of basketball, but for the sake of my wallet. And let's go Rangers, bro. Let's go Rangers and let's go Yankees, dude. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks, etc. podcast. As John said, go Rangers. Support your New York sports teams. All
Take
right.
Creeder in the money line for the first 2 games. You know how it is for the Rangers.
Listen to the man. But you know what it is. Thank you for all you tuning for another Knicks episode of the Knicks, etc. podcast. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a comment. We're on YouTube as well. Look for Knicks, Jets, etc. period. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. When you watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment, add to the conversation. Let us know your takes on the playoffs, all right? Let us know your takes on the point guard situation for the New York Knicks.
Door 1, door 2, door 3, bro. Which one?
Let us know your takes on the Donovan Mitchell situation. Let us know it all, okay? Add to the conversation. Get into the comments. We love to read it. We love to interact with all of you. So thank you for always making a comment. Shout out to all of our usuals as well. And then if you haven't already checked it out already, we got another podcast called Winning Picks Weekly, as John already gave a shout out to. If you like betting, John, video producer
like
Greg,
Chip.
our guy Chip Murphy. They go down everything.
Everyone loves
Basketball,
Chip.
baseball.
If you don't like Chip, I don't like you.
They go down everything. Baseball, basketball, football, golf, hockey, everything. You got to put some money down. These guys will help you. Just make sure to do so responsibly. So make sure to check out Winning Picks Weekly. And then last and certainly not least, we're on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. We are there. Thank everyone for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Knicks and let's go Rangers, bro.